A window into Davao City. Look at that, amazing. A little bit of news update this week. There's been another petition from the nature conservationists in Davao and Samal Islands, saying that there needs to be a review on the bridge because the Philippine people need to have a safe, healthy environment, being clean and being tidy. So that was filed on Monday. So at the moment there's no work on the bridge again. Every couple of months you keep getting these little petitions at the Supreme Court in Manila. Strange, really. Maybe it's going to go on. Maybe they'll get it by 2028, but it's 12% completed and it's all on hold again. Sitting there on this veranda and it's warm and the breeze, unbelievable. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, so I did that bit about Davao, the bridge, the connector bridge. Will it ever get completed? It should do. Once all the complaining has died down. They've all got reasons. I don't know what the reasons all are, but they've all got reasons. We just live with it and move on with it. Okay, so yesterday I was out and I was trying to get my bike serviced. So I left my bike down at the service place, the garage, and I went back in the afternoon. I didn't have any parts. Well, you get used to that, don't you? So I had no brakes, front brake or back brake, and I had to ride my bike. I had to ride my bike home, still with no brakes. I've got to go back on Friday. The parts should arrive from their head office tomorrow, which means I can fit it on Friday. Anyway, not to worry. Okay, some airport news. Let's talk about airports, shall we? On Monday there was a memorandum issued, and I'll post it, put it on here, so you can look at it. That there are some airports, Clark, Manila, Cebu, Pampanga, and one other, will be introducing terminal fees. Now, those terminal fees are going to be between 700 and 900 pesos for each person when you're exiting the country on your flight. Now, what I find strange is that when you make your booking with an airline, they turn around and charge you airport fees and taxes on your ticket. Now you're going to have to pay in person, in cash, because they don't take card at the airport, to exit the country on your flights. wherever you're going. If you're transiting, then you don't pay it because you're already in the airport. So if you're flying, say from Singapore to Manila, and you're just going to get a transit flight to pick up Singapore Scoot Airways to Davao, you don't pay it. Okay? And if you're doing Scoot Airways to pick up your Singaporean flight in Manila, you don't pay it. So that's the reason you might be sitting there saying to me, oh yeah, but you don't pay it when you come into the country. No, if you've got a return ticket to Singapore, you will pay it. If you're flying from Manila to Qatar or US or Incheon or Thailand or Vietnam, you will pay it. But the question I find that keeps cropping up in my head is that if the airlines are already charging in the ticket price, why is the airport charging the people at the airport on the day of transit? So I was thinking about this last night, and yesterday, and I went down to the ticket place in SM Langan yesterday to ask them about the ticket flying out from Manila. And on there, they turned around and said, oh, it's going to be this amount of money. Okay, it's like $300. And then there is a surcharge, and there's a fuel charge, and there's a tax. And I turned around and I asked about the tax, and they turned around and said, well, that's the airport tax. I said, yeah, but the airport is already going to be charging. This is the memorandum. The woman turned around and said, well, this is the airline. So you're buying the airline ticket, which includes tax. And when you get to the airport, they've got somebody manually charging you, not electronically, to get into the airside part of the airport. So you come through customs, you go up the stairs, and as you're walking through the customs areas, before you get to customs, there'll be a person sat there with a table going like this. Gimme, gimme, gimme. So you're paying twice. Now, it might not sound a lot, but it's $17, that's the charge, US. And there were 2.5 million travellers last year at the airport. So that's 2.5 million people get charged on their ticket, and there's 2.5 million people get charged at the airport. So that's $34 in my maths. Well, Singapore charges you on your ticket $35 if you're travelling as a tax out of Singapore airport, out of Singapore Chiang Mai. Now, the airport at Chiang Mai is the world's best airport, voted 5 years in a row. Would you class Manila, if they're charging you twice, as one of the top airports in the world? I don't think so. So they're charging you, and let's see what actually happens. I'm going to be flying in a couple of months' time, back to the UK, and I'll turn around and see how much I get charged. But I'm flying from Davao, so maybe I'll miss it, or maybe they'll charge me at Davao. But the other thing I found strange is that Davao wasn't listed in the top 5 airports by this on this memorandum. It gave you Cebu, it gave you Pampanga, it gave you Clark, it gave you Manila. So I wonder where that goes. Oh, I needed that drink. I needed to rehydrate. Okay, the other thing this week in Davao is there was an announcement about monkeypox. it's on the increase. Doesn't turn around and say in the report what it's increased by. It just says there's an outbreak in Davao, and what it is like you get your arm and you get your skin, you get like these pustules, these little like blisters all over your skin, monkeypox. It gives you like cold symptoms of like cough, headache, runny nose, achy body, lethargy. So it's here. I think it's over near Kalinan, but I can't be specific on that. It could be up near Panabu, it could be, but monkeypox is here. So I said to Annie, take your vitamins, take some medication, and if you're feeling tired and if you've got a runny nose or a headache, and the reason I said to Annie is because Annie goes to school, and there's thousands of people in the school. I don't go to the school, so I don't get pulled up into that catchment of people at school. I don't get interaction with people that come from the province, come from the island, come from the city, come from areas around Davao City. I come from my little close niche of friends here, and I'm not intermingling with classes and eating in cafeterias or eating out on the street food or eating in the little caranderias or going to the study hub. So that's why I mentioned it to Annie, because that's what you don't want to get that. Looking at it, it looks terrible. I've never seen it before, and I've never heard of it. Is it a new name? I don't really know. So is it something that monkeys pass on? I mean, years ago, the pox used to be a socially transmitted disease when I was younger. So if you got the pox, you ended up with VD or gonorrhea or syphilis or sexually transmitted, whatever. Is monkeypox a sexually transmitted disease from monkeys? The world is changing, and I'm not going to go on Google or Wikipedia to turn around and find out what it is. It could be a part of measles or a chicken pox or something like that. I don't really know. But it's here in Davao, and a few people I know where I live were turning around and saying to me this morning before I came here, you know, make sure you turn around and wear a mask, make sure you get sanitised, make sure you do it. And I'm like, wow, it sounds like COVID all over again. So, yeah, Wednesday. I love that breeze. That breeze is absolutely glorious today. Absolutely glorious. So yeah, so that was it. I said I've done the bridge. I talked about the airport and the prices, and the price airport costs are going to go up. So people are going to have to bear that cost. And there's monkeypox in Davao. Wow. It's busy here today. Yeah. It's busy, yeah? I don't know why. Last week I come in here, it was half empty. Today, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tables outside. And they've got an air-conned area over there, and that's got 7 tables. Wow. Anyway. Welcome, Garden by the Bay. Like, share, subscribe, guys. I'm going to post this video tonight. Enjoy it.